the chosen one. Congratulations on your win. You have passed a boundary that many people dreaded. You've passed through shadows that would have made others collapse. And yet, here you are. The world may not have given you a trophy, but heaven certainly has. The indicators have been there. The momentum is changing. Something in the air around you is altered. The resistance has decreased. The uncertainties have been highlighted. And now confirmation has come. This message is a communication from the cosmos, or the divine, that your breakthrough is no longer a question of hope. It is now a reality. You didn't just survive the war. You triumphed. You did not just make it through the storm. You developed superhuman strength in the midst of it. You are no longer simply a dreamer. You are now proof that dreams may come true. The chosen one. If you are reading this, you are being honored in worlds you cannot see. You are being recognized by forces who have watched you struggle in silence. You are being applauded for winning with grace, faith, and calm resilience. This is your moment. Stay with this video till the conclusion and let it validate whatever you've been feeling recently. Also, in the comments, put your fondest wishes and 777 to connect yourself with the energy of success, breakthrough, and fulfilling destiny. Allow this time to manifest your objectives into the cosmos. Now, choose one like this video. If you have not already done so, subscribe to the channel. Let we begin. You didn't beg for attention. You did not seek applause. You just kept going when others misinterpreted you. Even when the odds were stacked against you, you continued going. You did not quit. When the journey became dark, you ignited your inner fire. And it is that brightness, strength, and resilience that has resulted in this win. Your win didn't happen immediately. It was created moment by moment, tier by tier, test after test, delay after the delay. You remained devoted even when it didn't make sense. You felt that even your own voice shook and you were unaware of it. But every laborious step etched your name into the walls of glory. The gates are now opening. The favor is pouring. The rewards are developing. The heavens are declaring, you made it. You're going to enter rooms you didn't know existed. You're going to gain recognition from people who previously neglected you. You're being positioned in locations where only winners belong. And let's be clear, you are not blessed at random. You are being blessed for passing the exam. You bore the burden. You struggled through the cacophony. You ascended through the fog. And now you're in a position where the light shines straight on you. It was not always beautiful. It was not always tranquil. Yet it was always magnificent. Every setback was a setup. Every delay was a recalibration. Every detour was on the map. Only a select handful can comprehend. You didn't realize you were being guided to triumph. You believe you were forgotten. But what seemed to be quiet was really a plan. What seemed to be rejection was in fact a redirection. And now you can see the end effect. Victory, not partial or restricted, but divine and whole. You see, triumph is more than simply an event. It is a spiritual elevation, a change in identity, and a reset of the environment. And this is what has happened to you. The previous version of yourself would not recognize who you are becoming. You've grown into a person with knowledge in your eyes, fire in your voice, and certainty in your steps. That does not stem from comfort. It comes from a difficulty. And you overcame enough hurdles to open doors that others only dream about. Now the benefits begin. Unexpected offers, long-awaited approvals, quick turnarounds, and amazing connections. These aren't coincidences. They are echoes of your efforts. The result of your clandestine labor, the fruit of the roots you planted in secret seasons. You may not have experienced every agony, but heaven valued every sacrifice. And now it's all flooding back, squeezed down, shaken together, and spilling over. It's time to get the selected one. The season of proving has ended. The season of blossoming has here. The previous struggles will not haunt you. The old anxieties will not haunt you. You're not at the same level as before. That version of yourself no longer exists. The world may expect you to react in the same manner. But you have been reborn. You have been altered by fire. And fire no longer burns you. It strengthens you. Your name has been proclaimed in the divine chambers. Your task has been improved. The route ahead of you will no longer be unclear. It will be characterized by clarity. You won't have to knock on doors anymore. They'll open before you arrive. The favor that follows you is unmistakable. The brightness around you is seductive. The voice inside you is unshakable. Why? Because you're one. Yes, you won. You didn't realize it was occurring. However, you triumphed over all obstacles. And now the celebrations begin. Not with loudness, but with elegance. Not with disorder, but with clarity. Not with performance, but with calm. This is the type of triumph that only a chosen one understands. Not everyone saw your suffering, and not everyone will comprehend your triumph. And that's okay, because this win was not for them. It was for you. Stay modest, but also bold. Stay compassionate, but firm. The same power that got you here will propel you forward. This is just the beginning. Your name will be mentioned in places of power. Your tale will motivate others who are still fighting their battles. Your light will reach others who believe they are still in the dark. Because when the selected one wins, the ripple effect affects lives well beyond their own. Congratulations on your win. You did not lose your mind when life attempted to shatter it. You didn't lose faith when silence seemed louder than replies. You did not lose your heart when treachery attempted to break it. You are standing tall because you have never been alone. The divine walked with you. The invisible pulled you onward. And now the visible is about to overtly reward you. More to come. Greater is nearby. This win does not mean the end. It indicates that everything else you were promised is now on its way. You will see the entire extent of what was before merely a vision. Those who went away will see the rise. Those who questioned you will learn about your promotion. But you do not concentrate on them. Focus on the trip ahead, for your finest days are yet to come. They are about to. There's no going back. The door behind you is closed. The bridge has burned. And that's excellent. Are being brought to realms of excess, banquets of plenty, and moments of grandeur. Every stride ahead will seem lighter. Every decision you make will be guided by wisdom. You won't have to force anything. You will not have to pursue what is already yours. You are a magnet for miracles right now. You have been crowned. You have been selected. You have been granted victory. And no power on earth can undo what has already been decreed for your life. There are worlds preparing benefits bearing your name. Destinies are being altered in your favor. Winds are transporting your supply right to you. And this time you'll realize the benefit because you've experienced life without it. So enjoy this moment. Allow it to remind you that you were never perceived to be important, that you were never anointed with acclaim, and that you were never crowned in front of a throng. You simply required alignment, obedience, and trust. And now your prize is unfolding in front of you. This is your triumph, chosen one. And it was always intended for you. You did not arrive here by chance. You reached at this moment because something inside you refused to settle. Even when you questioned your value, you continued to show up. Even as tears flowed down your cheeks in the dark, you made the next step. Victory did not choose someone who was flawless. It selected someone who is persistent. And that person is you. Let's be clear, you did not win by luck. And you're not being exalted because the world has finally permitted it. You're being uplifted because heaven has decreed it. What you are carrying cannot be reproduced. What you've been through cannot be quantified. And what comes next can't be prevented. This season is dubbed recognition. This chapter is called restoration. This is referred to as confirmation of the chosen one. The divine has validated your steps. Every action now has weight. You are no longer hidden. You are no longer quiet. You are no longer neglected. Victory has set a spotlight on you, not to perform, but to walk with purpose. You wished the anguish would go away, but it only lasted long enough to teach you how to fly. It formed your character. It improved your judgment. It cleaned your motivations. And now you lead with knowledge rather than scars. You talk with passion, not fear. You move with authority, not worry. You do not have to yell to be heard. Your presence communicates, and the world is going to listen in ways it has never done before. Your triumph is more than a win. It is a signal. It's informing you that the wait is ended. It announces the lifting of the weight you've been carrying for so long. It confirms that the power you thought you'd lost has never left. It was maturing. You're not going back to who you were. You are not going back to the previous version of your life. No, this is new. This is the elevation. This is domination. The sort that cannot be obtained by shortcuts or stolen by pretenders. Only those who have endured quietly and remained loyal without fanfare are deserving of this type of recognition. People have no idea how much it costs you. They saw the end result, but not the nights you called out for strength. They did not see the times when everything appeared to be falling. But somehow your spirit did not. You held on, and heaven took notice. The divine kept track of all unseen sacrifices, and now it is repaying you more than you could have anticipated. Overflow isn't simply coming. It is being released. Doors are opening that reasoning cannot understand. Opportunities are developing that no human could have planned. Blessings are aligning in ways that only divine timing can orchestrate. You are not being marketed by anybody. You are being promoted by power. The type of power that will not lie. The sort that does not reconsider its judgment. The sort that declares, "This one's ready." And you're ready. Prepared to lead. Ready to transport. Prepare to overflow. The next stage of your life will not be about endurance. It will be centered on fun. You'll glance around and find you're no longer alive. You are finally prospering. The harvest is genuine. The payoff is apparent. And triumph is forever. Because what you've just stepped over into was sealed in heaven long before it appeared on earth. You may still feel the effects of the struggle, but don't mistake residue for reality. You are no longer in a battle. You are in a flow. You are no longer being tested. You are being trusted. The divine views you as a bearer of effect, and your life is going to reflect this in ways that will leave people in wonder. This wind does not just transform your circumstances. It altered your frequency. You are now attracted to what you used to pursue. You now radiate what you used to look for. The energy around you has been improved. The spiritual atmosphere has changed, and those who approach you will either rise with you or go because you no longer match confusion. You have the same level of lucidity. You can no longer match lack. You match the heritage. You no longer match silent. You match sound. And that sound represents triumph, chosen one. You are not behind. You are right on time. All of the delays were part of the divine plan. You are not being penalized. You are being prepped. You are not being refused. You are being defined. And now that the components are in place, the power is being unleashed. One by one, your prayers are being answered. Instead of scraps, use substance. This time, you will not need to beg for your blessing twice. This time, you will not need to remind anybody of your value. This time, you will not have to shrink to be welcomed. You will be accepted precisely as you are, fully, fearlessly, and completely, because this is what triumph feels like. This is more than simply a party. It is a shift. It isn't simply clapping hands. The doors are opening. Walls collapse and shackles snap. And this win is infectious. Everyone around you will begin to notice the shift. Your surroundings will begin to react. Your money will react. Your connections will react. Your body, your mind, it's your call. Everything will begin to run at a victory frequency, since the chosen one is not just blessed in private. The selected one proclaims triumph openly. Let them watch. Let them ponder. Allow them to ask how you accomplished it. With a calm heart and clear voice, you might simply say, "Grace carried me." Because it did. You are not the consequence of chance or human favoritism. You are the consequence of divine favor, unwavering obedience, and spiritual persistence. And now that you're here, you won't be sent back. Your spirit is lighter. Your future is brighter. Your name is louder. And your life demonstrates that quiet fights result in extraordinary rewards. You have been crowned in secret, but now you'll be praised in public. And it will be undeniable. This triumph will have an impact on the next season. It will rock the foundations. It will reawaken latent dreams. It will cause daring movements. The skies have granted you the authority to walk in dominance. You are not just favored. You're established, and nothing will ever be the same again. You are now in a domain where what formerly resisted you is now responding to you. You are in alignment, which is not a sensation. It is a spiritual command. That's why things are moving. That is why misunderstanding is dissipating. That's why closed doors are springing open without your knock, because you've entered the season of heavenly answer. You no longer plead for what you already have. You're getting it with authority. This is what genuine triumph achieves. It improves your posture. It reminds you of who you are. It enables you to stop shrinking and begin standing. Because now you understand. You didn't struggle so hard to get back to insecurity. You did not go through anything simply to remain tiny. You didn't emerge from the darkness to conceal your brightness again. No more dimming, second-guessing, or begging for permission to shine. This triumph grants you license. You have been cleared. You have been commissioned. You're covered. And everything about you has changed. Your thinking, habits, energy, and presence. You go into rooms now, and the vibe changes. That is not arrogance. That is anointing. That is what happens when a chosen one truly embraces their identity. For much too long, you performed roles that were beyond your abilities. You kept your voice down so that others would not feel tiny. You allowed yourself to be misunderstood in order to keep peace. But now you see that your tranquility was never supposed to be sacrificed for the sake of others. Your power was never intended to be palatable. You are bold by design. You are naturally radiant. And this win serves as a reminder to be who you are without apologies. Everything you went through prepared you to bear this kind of light and favor. This sort of prosperity is not just financial, but also spiritual, emotional, and mental. You are clear, purposeful, visionary, and aligned. And eventually, every aspect of your life will begin to reflect that richness outwards. The financial breakthrough is but one expression of your spiritual richness. Yes, it is arriving in waves, rather than in parts. Not by hustling, but via the divine flow. What you previously pursued now recognizes you, because you are no longer the same version of yourself who relied on signals. Now you're the sign. You are the proof. You are a fulfilled prophecy. You are living evidence that obedience combined with perseverance generates unmistakable results. Allow them to ask how it occurred so quickly. Allow them to murmur about your elevation. They have no idea what you sacrificed. They were not there for the heartbreaks, rejections, or spiritual pruning. But heaven was. And heaven maintained a record. That's why the prize is so large. That's why the elevation seems strange. Because what you gave up personally is being compensated for a publicly selected one. Your name has been marked. Not just for blessings, but also for effect. You're not only striving to have a better life, you're rising to change generations, rewrite legacies, and hold keys that open doors for others. Your success serves a divine purpose. It is larger than you. That's why no weapon could stop you. Because winning was not an option. It was essential for the next phase of global development. You were made for this, forged in flames. Silence has given me strength. Resistance has refined me. And now you're unstoppable. Not because of what you have, but because of who you have been and continue to be. Is there someone that the darkness regrets bothering with? From this point on, you will experience a peace that does not make sense. A confidence that is not derived from flattery. A lucidity that does not need continuous evaluation. Why? Because you've entered into actual knowledge. You know who you are. You know what you're carrying. You know what? You survived. And that understanding is louder than any untruth that attempts to speak into your life.